To begin a video project, click on the Adobe Premiere icon on your desktop or search for it in your applications. When this window appears, click New Project to start a new project, or Open Project if you are returning to a project you have already started. We will start a new project. Next, name the title of your project. We will name ours Learn How to Use Adobe Premiere. Here you can also change the location of where you are saving your project. Click Browse to choose where you would like your file to be saved. If you are a UNC student, we recommend that you save all of your files in media storage, which can be found by clicking on Media Storage, then finding your onion, and saving it under the private folder. This way you can access your file from any computer in the Media Resource Center or library. Once you have picked a title and location, click OK. For basic projects, you do not need to enter a sequence name. We will be keeping our project under Sequence 1, so we can click OK to proceed. Now you can see your dashboard where you will work on your project. There are 4 different windows. Beginning at the bottom left window, this is the panel that will hold all of your audio and video files. The bottom right window is the timeline where you will cut and edit your clips. The top right is the program monitor. Here you can see the footage that you're editing on your timeline. And the top left is the source monitor. The source tab can be used to watch and trim clips before placing them onto your timeline. There are also additional tabs here for effect controls and audio mixing. You can play around with your workspace and adjust the size and locations of windows to better suit your needs by hovering your mouse on the lines in between the windows and clicking and dragging, or clicking and dragging the small column line at the top of the right windows. However, if you accidentally move things to where you don't want them, you can reset your workspace to its original format by clicking Window, Workspace, Reset Current Workspace, and then clicking Yes. Now we will begin the project by importing media. Click on File, Import, and locate files that you want to work with. Once you select these files, click Import. In order to organize your files, you can create different bins by either right-clicking in the space of your media library and selecting New Bin, or by clicking on the folder icon at the bottom right corner of the window. You can rename your bins to better locate your files. Here we will create a bin for audio and a bin for video. Click and drag the files you want into their respective bins. Double-click on the first clip you want to work with. It should appear in the source monitor where you can trim the clip to your desired length. You can use your mouse to drag the marker where you want the video to begin. Press the spacebar to play and pause the clip. To cut the clip, press the letter I on the keyboard for in where you want the clip to begin, and press O for out where you want the clip to end. Now that you have shortened the footage, you can click and drag it to your timeline. When you drop the footage, a mismatch warning will appear. Be sure to always click Change Sequence Settings. If you only want the video from a clip or only the audio, you can click and drag from the film icon for video and sound wave icon for audio. You can also separate the audio and video from each other on the timeline by right-clicking the clip and selecting Unlink. Once the footage is on your timeline, you can more precisely manage the clip by zooming in using the plus key, and if you are too close, you can zoom out of your timeline using the minus key. On your timeline, you are still able to cut the clips by using the razor tool. To use the tool, click on the razor icon in the vertical toolbar and cut the beginning and end of the clip with one click on each end. After you cut this footage, you need to go back to the arrow icon so that you can select the pieces you have cut. After selecting the piece you wish to delete, either press the delete key on your keyboard to remove that specific piece without moving anything else, or right-click and press Ripple Delete to delete the selected clip and move all of the following footage up. If you cut too much or too little, you can adjust the edges of your clip by clicking and dragging the edges with the arrow tool. If you have the footage you want, but you need it to last a shorter or longer amount of time, you can speed up or slow down the clip by right-clicking and selecting Speed/Duration. Changing the speed above 100% will make the clip faster, and below 100% will make it slower. This is usually best only to adjust when you have footage of scenes without audio. Now that you have one set of footage in your timeline, you can layer other media by using different tracks. For example, if you want to add music to your video, click and drag a music file, like this MP3, to a new track. You can edit other tracks just as we did before, just make sure to have the track selected that you want to edit. All audio tracks will be played at the same time, however, whichever visual media is on the top track is what will be seen. For example, if you want to play a still image over top of your video, you can insert an image by clicking and dragging it onto the highest track on your timeline. Sometimes the image that you pick will not fill the screen. To fix this, right-click the image on your timeline and select Scale Frame to Size. You can extend its duration by lengthening the edges. As you can see, that transition was a bit abrupt. Rigid audio or visual transitions like this can be hidden by effects. To insert effects, select the Effects tab. You can browse through and play with all the different effects available. One very standard visual transition effect is the cross dissolve effect. This can be found by going to Effects, Video Transitions, Dissolve, Cross Dissolve. With any effects, you can simply click and drag them onto your timeline. You can shorten and lengthen them by dragging the edges. You can delete them by selecting them and pressing the delete key on your keyboard. Finally, you can insert a title or text over your picture by clicking on your timeline, clicking Title on your toolbar, New Title, and Default Still for a still basic title frame. You can name your title and then select OK. The box to create your title should pop up automatically. In this box, you can click and type your text over top of the image. Use the arrow tool in the top left to move the location of your text box. Use the T icon to change your text. You can adjust all of the properties of your text using the toolbar on the right. To change the color of the text, select Color in the right toolbar and change the font using Font Family drop-down menu. Once you're finished, you can click and drag your title onto a track above the video layer. When you have completed your project, right-click on the main video piece, select Properties, and look for your frame rate to know how to export your file. Our frame rate is 29.97. You can now close this tab. Next, click File, Export, Media. First, select your format. A standard format is H.264. Next, select your preset. To export as a standard MP4, use the YouTube HD settings. 720 is generally fine, but 1080 can be used for very high-quality film. We will export as YouTube HD 1080p, followed with 29.97 since that was our frame rate. Then select Source Range, Entire Clip if it is not already selected. To name the project and designate the location of your project, click on Output Name to change these settings, just as you did when you began your project. Next, make sure Export Video and Export Audio are both checked. When you have finished adjusting your settings, click Export to complete your project. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it was helpful.